Hello. Okay, hi John Wasaki. Hi Senrisa. Hopefully I am in the right live. I just want to make sure of that. Yes. Okay, hi Video Reel. Hi Margot. So welcome. If you're joining us here, we're doing a true crime rewind. We just finished going over the Murdaugh motion that was filed today. And it was a hot one here. It's still hot here tonight, which is nice. I'm loving it, and they're saying it's going to continue, which I am loving. I just wish it had come earlier in the season, but we are really blessed that our kids don't start school until Thursday. So we've had like some really nice time, and I was swimming again. Got to go swimming again with the boys and their friends, and then they got to go fishing, and they still have. We had 3 boys over last night. We are down to 1 now. And then the kids still have track practice and stuff. So they didn't have it today because there was a misunderstanding on the time. And so it ended up that they didn't go to that with their friend who's also on cross country with them. But anyway, tomorrow they do have a meet, which is crazy because they haven't even started school yet. So that's going to kind of throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in the day. And then Thursday, they're supposed to start school, but we have a big thing on Thursday, so I don't know how we're going to do this. So I don't know. We'll have to say. Hi, Sherry. Hi, everybody. So if you're not familiar with the Chris Watts case, and I think everybody by now, we've done the rewind and stuff, is probably familiar with it. And it was 5 years on August 13th that Chris Watts annihilated his entire family, including his 2 little girls and this unborn child, along with his wife, Shanann, right? And it was very quickly that his guilt appeared, because I think he thought he was going to have time to get home and get things cleaned up. But he didn't, because Shanann's friend Nicole Atkinson wanted to check on Shanann because she had just come back from that Arizona trip with her and for Lavelle, and didn't hear from her. And she had a doctor's appointment and she missed that. And none of the friends could get a hold of her. And Shanann was normally texting to everybody. What I think happened was, because she changed her passcode and he did not know the passcode to her phone, and I just don't think he was smart enough, okay, because you get into thinking, oh, I'm not going to be caught, to think like crap, because he probably was going to send a text from her phone saying, I don't feel good today, I'm going to lay down. But because he didn't know the code, couldn't get in the phone, he couldn't think of anything else, and, he had to get going. If he had thought, he could have texted people from his phone saying, crap, I dropped my phone in the toilet, and now I'm going to have to get a new phone at some point, but I don't feel good, and I'm going to sleep the rest of the day. Please don't bother me. He didn't think that far ahead. Okay? And so when Nicole Atkinson starts, calling the police for a welfare check, and he's very, very perturbed that he's being called, right? He just wants them to go home. Just stay away from my garage door. He's getting really, really upset on the phone. Why is she there? Why is she messing with the garage door? Because he's getting alerts that the garage door is being messed with. Okay? And Nicole's on the phone with the other friends, and they're going back and forth and getting very upset that Chris is not taking this seriously. So that when he comes home, he hasn't had time to do anything, which I think if he had come home, there would have been a lot of other things occurring, because NK's friend Jim was in town. Was he in town? Why? We don't know. People say, why was Dieter left alive? And I've always said, could it be that he was going to give the dog to NK, but he had to wait till after work? I don't know. That's what I've thought about. And I think that he would have gotten rid of that car, the car seats, everything. Yeah, but he didn't have any time to do any of that, to go in and do the cleanup and the stuff to go along with the story. So when the kids' car seats are there and her car is there and you're expecting to think that she just vanished, it was ridiculous to even think of such a thing. Right? That was ridiculous in and of itself. But then her phone is there and her watch is there and CC's EpiPen is there and her purse is there and all of this stuff is there. Come on. It's ridiculous. Okay? Then he gives the porch interview. I remember when he did that porch interview and I said to Jimmy, this guy is guilty. We were actually away when this was happening. We went to Hershey Park with our kids. And I just remember seeing it in the hotel. We saw some of it before we left, but then it was following up with his, I think it was when he went in to court the first time, and then came out that he was blaming it on his wife. And I just thought, wow, this guy is a piece of work. It wasn't true. It was just ridiculous. Never realized how much this case would play into my life in so many ways, but it has. And just, yeah, what a thing to think that he would get away with, to just do something like this. And a lot of people ask, well, why did he do that? Why couldn't he have just got a divorce? I'll tell you why. Okay? When they said, tell me what people say about you. Oh, they'll say I'm dependable, I'm this, I'm that. Everything was good. Everything was glowing. How do you think people would think about him if they found out he left his wife 15 weeks pregnant and 2 little girls and was having an affair with someone at his job? Would he be that great guy anymore? No, right? He would be a horrible person that would do that. You saw how he didn't want his coworkers to know anything about what he did. He wanted to put this facade on. But if his family just disappeared, if his family just up and vanished, he would be a victim. People would be bringing over food. People would be so upset for him. Where did your family go? What happened? Okay? And then he would feel in time he could move on with his life. And nobody had to know that that relationship happened before. This is what he thought in his head. This is exactly what he thought in his head. If he left her, he'd be the bad guy. If he left her, everybody would say, what the hell is wrong with you? Why don't you work on your marriage? Your wife is pregnant. You've got 2 little girls. Why don't you at least go to counseling? He didn't want to go to counseling. He didn't want to do anything to save that marriage. He had a one-track mind at that point. Okay? And it was just to go with Kessinger. So that's it. Okay? He wanted to be seen as a good person. And now he could be seen as someone whose whole family disappeared. And he really thought this was going to work for him. But it didn't, okay? It didn't, because he cannot feel emotion or express it. That's why he was searching on a computer, how does it feel when someone says, I love you? Because he didn't know how to act. Okay? So he had to Google how to act when somebody tells you that they love you. So that's he has absolutely no empathy and no emotions. He can act the way he's supposed to if he knows how he's supposed to do it, and he does it in a very methodical way where he can repeat the same things over and over, what he's supposed to say, or the kids' routines the way they're supposed to be, or work stuff like that. It's very easy for him because it's all mechanical. There's no emotion with any of it. It's from A, B, C, D, and he can just repeat the same thing over and over again. So he thinks no one was going to look for them, but it's not even. Yeah, he didn't. I think the phone tripped him up, Oliver. I really do think the phone code tripped him up, because I think he would have put a message out, because I think that he would know that people were going to call her, and I think he would have put a message out, but he couldn't get in the phone. And I think he just, gosh, didn't think that, okay, of any other way to get that out. Like, I don't know whether he just went off saying, I just hope nobody calls her. I don't know, but that really, I don't know. It just, yeah, it's crazy. But then he starts, with this whole emotional conversation and all of that crap. And like Tammy said in the post polygraph, Chris, every time you describe this emotional conversation, you're bawling. You're not just crying. You're bawling your eyes out. You're so upset. You're so emotional. But you have not shed a tear for your family. Okay? And then he starts crying then, and like, oh, don't base it because I don't. But see, that's how fake it was. All of this stuff about an emotional conversation. It was all based on what he heard. Maybe another coworker had told him at one point, because he'll save that all. For that's how you act when you have an emotional conversation with your wife. So-and-so said they were bawling their eyes out. Well, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, bawling my eyes out. And it's just crazy, and then that porch interview and the rocking back and forth and, oh, yeah, But then he couldn't even remember the dress. He talked about the buttons on the back of the dress of the girls. And then when Coder asked him, when they went to his prison, he couldn't even remember that dress anymore. It's crazy. So, yeah, but the life insurance would have taken a while, because they'd have to prove them deceased, Pitbull, before they would get that. And if they just vanished, there would be a period of time that would have to go by. So that wouldn't be immediate. But it's awesome that she changed the passcode. Yeah, and you see it right in the camera footage when she says it's the baby's due date. High serenity check. So what I want to do is go through some of this. Like there's his first ever interview with Coder. I believe that's the one that there's only audio for if I'm remembering that right, the first one ever, where he gave him that paper and told him to write everything down. Remember that? And there's a transcript. And then the second time he went in and he talked to Coder for a long time. And then at that point, I think that's when they got the sightings. Somebody thought they saw them at Home Depot. Somebody thought they saw them at Walmart with some kind of milk or lactate in the basket in the front of the cart. And then he said, they're going to be at your house. You can't go to your house tonight. And he went home with the friends. And then the next day, they asked him to come in for the polygraph. And that was the end of Chris Watts. So he spent the 13th at the house. And he did do cleaning at that time. But the car seats, the wedding ring, that was all in, and that wasn't able to, he couldn't change that. And where is she going to go without that stuff? That was ridiculous. And meanwhile, then Nicole Kessinger was getting interviewed and coming forward with stuff. And then she had a couple of interviews at some kind of park where there's a lot of wind interference. And then with her dad. Okay. And then just with another CBI agent by herself, where they took her phone finally. So let me see which one I want to do here, what I want to do here. Okay, let's see. So, okay, so let's go to, where's this one? Okay.
Over the past 6 months, we have been investigating
Quiet.
as well as
Okay, let me pull this over here.
Go to the show.
Probably,
Yep.
Do you have a preference?
doesn't matter.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go make a copy of this so we can look at it together. You good on water and food and all that?
I'm good on the wire, right? I'm good.
You good on?
I'm fine right now, thank you.
Right.
I wonder who he's texting. This is August 14th. Oh, look at that. I wonder who he's texting. I was thinking the same thing. He looks tiny, Oliver. He looks like he's trying to think, how should he be sitting? What should I be doing? Let me look at this room and let me take it all in. Hi, Navigator. Exactly, burnt popcorn. Sociopaths can only mimic true emotions exactly. How should he be acting? What would a person that was going through this be doing, saying? That's what he's thinking. What can I do? Let me look at my shoes. Is there anything on my shoes? Are they clean? Let me see. Did I walk in anything with these shoes? But he never asks, did you find my kids? Did you get any leads? Has anything that somebody that was really... Now see, this is after he's going over what Chris wrote.
A bunch of people coming in, you know, from your neighborhood. Somebody saw something, somebody knows where these kids are. And I keep saying kids, I'm sorry, kids in the world. And I should say, I work these quite a bit, and so tonight, if I make one of those mistakes when I say kids instead of your wife and kids, I apologize. We work it a lot, so I apologize if something comes out wrong or, anyway. So, I know you're going through a lot, so we're not going to keep you here all night. Can we go through this? So, okay, let's see, you're 148, doorbell detected visitor. What does that mean?
So the doorbell has a camera on it when you get up to a certain proximity, and when you ring it, it detects a visitor.
Okay. We're already distracted there.
Oh.
So in fact, you know, why don't, let's do this. So I work a lot of stuff like this in bank robberies, and when I talk to, you know, a witness at a bank robbery, sometimes I find it best for them to just say, tell me what happened, get it all out, and then once you get it out, let's go over it, okay? So just get it all out as far as this. Tell me exactly what you remember, and I'll take notes about where we can go.
Okay. So this 1:48 a.m.
Let me switch chairs.
Okay.
That's when they come knocking.
Okay.
When they come knocking, I gotta use that key. Do you need more water?
No,
I brought you a Gatorade.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
Alright, so 1:48 a.m., doorbell detects the visitor. So when we were over at the neighbor's house, the next day we were looking at his camera as well, and it didn't show anybody walking up to the driveway, which is kind of weird. That's one reason I put that on there. Because it showed Nicole dropping her off, but nobody actually walking up to the house. It was kind of weird, but she was in the house.
Okay.
So,
And what time are we talking?
it's still 1:48.
Okay.
So, 2 a.m., Shannon gets into bed with me. That's when my alarm goes off for work, and I'm just get dressed, brush my teeth, everything I do upstairs.
Okay.
about 4:15, that's when I get back, slide right into bed next to her, and start having a conversation with her about putting the house up for sale, and talking about it, like actually proceeding with the separation.
Yeah,
And
sure.
obviously it gets pretty emotional, like we're talking about, like we felt the disconnection was there, like falling out of love, and trying to stay together, maybe just for the kids' sake, but we're realizing that doing like our homework is not, most of the time that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And it gets pretty emotional because we have 2 beautiful kids and we have 1 on the way. So it's just a matter of like, it was very emotional, we were both crying, and
Yeah.
at the end, we just said, she said she was gonna take the kids to her friend's house for the day, and she would be back.
Okay.
I said, okay, it's fine. And that's when I went downstairs, made my protein shake. The 5 a.m., that's when I did that.
Okay.
Packed my lunchbox, had my oatmeal, chicken, filled my water jug up. 5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded up. Had my book bag, my lunchbox, computer, water jug, my big clear container. I put big clear containers in my truck so it's easy just to pull out, pull in, just depending on what I'm going to use. My O-ring kit, and I knew I was going to do some stuffing box rubbers that day.
There's something, he mentions those big clear containers he puts in his truck. And he makes a point in mentioning those big clear containers that he puts in his truck. Just it's a weird mention about these big clear containers. And if you remember when we were looking at the camera video of inside the garage, and I showed you an area where there were kids' clothing, it was like taken out of one of those big clear containers. Do you remember that? I don't know if you remember that from the interactive thing. We'll probably have to go over that. Totes, yeah. But I said Shanann would never leave the kids' clothing like that on the garage floor. And it looks like he hastily needed a tote. And so he grabbed the totes of the kids' clothes that were in a corner, okay? And it looked to me that he pulled them out of there in order to use that tote. And now when I hear him mention this here and how he mentions this, it makes me think he's covering for why he would have had clear totes if someone saw that. Okay? Just saying.
So I got some various open wrenches from my toolbox. I know those work better than the ones they would give me.
Okay.
5:30, that's when I went to work.
Okay.
And I had heard from Shanann for about 2 hours there, so at 7:40 I texted her and asked her if she could tell me where the kids were, if she took them anywhere.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
At 12 I texted her again, called me, nothing. And then about 12:10 p.m., that's when the doorbell visitor, everybody was another visitor, and I was like, it popped up on my phone and it says it was Nicole. And I was trying to put her on my phone to see if she's just trying to get in or whatnot. And I hear like she's on the phone trying to, I could hear her on through my phone saying she was trying to get to Shanann, so that's when I called her. I called her at 12:20, see what was going on. She told me that Shanann hadn't responded to any of her calls all day, or any of her friends' calls all day.
Okay.
And that's very strange, just because, I mean, she doesn't get back to me, that's fine, like she gets busy with kids, whatever. So she's gonna get back to her people, like the people like she works with direct sales.
Okay.
So if she doesn't get back with them, that's strange.
Is she the type to answer the phone?
For them, yeah, it's like all the time. Yeah, for me, it's just like, hey, wait, I'll see you later.
Okay.
So about 12:40, a few more efforts from Nicole to reach her while she was there, like outside the house.
Mm-hmm.
And at 1 o'clock, that's when I left, and I was like, all right, I'm on my way down there. 2 o'clock when I got home, because they couldn't get in because the front door had a top latch to keep the kids in. Nicole and the police officer that was there.
Oh, right, okay, gotcha.
So they couldn't get in because top latch on the front door was hinged, and the keypad on the outside does not work to get in the garage, so they had to wait till I got there so I could get the remote open.
Okay.
So when I got home, I opened the garage door and went inside the house and looked everywhere. Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, nowhere to be found. Shannon's wedding ring's on her nightstand, her phone's still on the couch, her purse is still there, the medicine for the kid's still there, the car seat's still there, and there's no sign of them anywhere.
Okay.
3 o'clock, the police officer, detective, Howard, right?
Oh, yes.
Butcher's name every time. Asking Nicole and I, questions about where she could have gone or who she could be with. At about 4 o'clock, the police officer that was there, he was checking the neighbor's security footage. At 5 p.m., the same police officer, detective, and then sergeant, another officer, they showed up and they searched the house again. About 6 o'clock, they didn't call around to anyone that may know something, called hospitals and hotels. 7:30, my friend Nick and Ben showed up to show support, and now it's his friends showing up.
Jeanette, nobody's removing your comments, so if something's not showing up, it could be that you're typing in a word that's not allowed or Google's doing something. But nobody's removing any comments from here. Sorry about that.
Just Lauren, Dave, Jeremy, and 10 o'clock is pretty much about laid down, but I didn't go to bed until about like 2 a.m. just because he was text and calls all night.
Okay.
And I was just hoping that, I left all the lights on in the house, I was hoping that I'd get a knock on the door. But
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, but nothing happened.
What do you think happens?
At first, I really thought maybe she was just at somebody's house, just decompressing. Yeah, but after today, like with the onslaught of all the cars, all the police cars, all the news, all the canine units.
Roofers are furious about this new product that's going viral. Replace your whole roof in as little as...
It's making me lean the other direction about someone took her.
Okay.
But if someone took her, it would have to have been someone she knew. Because there's no sign of anything like being disturbed, broken.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's the way I'm leaning now. At first I thought it was for real, she was just decompressing somewhere. I thought she was safe.
Mm-hmm.
Even though everything in the house was left there. But now it's just after the day with the news crews and everything, it feels more the other direction. And it's freaking me out. I
Yeah,
have
you
no
look
idea
freaked
where-
out, Chris. He
where
looks
they are.
freaked out, doesn't he?
Okay. If you could think of anything that we could do to find them, what would it be?
I mean, everything that I've exhausted so far is like people that have car seats, because she left the car seats. And she would never just, I mean, Bella could sit in a regular booster chair that because she's about that time.
Mm-hmm.
Celeste isn't quite there yet, but all the people that I know that have cars, they've contacted me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless it's, there's definitely a chance it's somebody I don't know. Being a guy or a girl, and she has plenty of friends through like direct sales that I've never met that could have a kid that they could come and just say, hey, let's go. Like, just back up in the back, put them in, let's go.
Yeah, okay, Chris. And she wouldn't
But-
take a purse or a phone.
I wouldn't have their name, I wouldn't know who they are.
Okay.
And this is like, that's what's driving me nuts. It's like, when I told the district, like, if she's out there, like, just come home. Like, who would, if someone has her, or like, not just has her, but she's at somebody's house and she's just decompressing, it's time to come back. Because now this
Decompressing.
is real.
Okay.
This has gone to a different level.
Absolutely. Okay. Do you have an inkling of if it's good or bad?
Yesterday, I would have thought that she was safe and it was good, that she would come home. Today, it's more on the other side. I don't think that she would let it get this far if she was just decompressing somewhere. I mean, she's not talking to anybody. As far as, and people that have reached out to me that I haven't talked to in like a year,
Mm-hmm.
that are friends with her.
Mm-hmm.
like one of her like best friends, her Judy, lives in Florida. She's works in the police department down in Miami, and she called me today. Like that's one of her friends she would confide in.
Oh, okay.
So
And she hasn't heard anything?
nothing.
And nobody's heard anything?
Her parents, I mean, she doesn't like talking to her mom, but still, her mom calls her enough that she would at least answer once.
Yeah. And if she's, I mean, I'm married, I know how it is. If she's hacked off at her husband, would she call her mom?
She would call one of the friends that contacted me.
Okay.
At least one of them, because she has a close-knit group.
Okay.
But the fact that none of them know anything is very strange, because one of them would have said something by now, seeing what this is escalated to.
Is it possible that her close-knit group isn't close with you and there is somebody who knows where she is right now?
I don't think so, because, I mean, she's very close with Nicole. And the way Nicole is acting right now, as far as how emotional she is, there's no way, like, she knows.
What does that mean?
There's no way, like, she would know, like, where she is, if she knew.
Oh, so you're saying if Nicole knew?
Yeah, Nicole knew, like, the way she's acting right now, she's as freaked out as I am.
Okay.
As freaked out as he is, I don't think so.
She would know where she is if she knew.
You're not freaked out, Chris.
I'm decent, she's been over at our house a good amount of times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you've obviously spoken with Nicole?
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have any weird feelings from her?
No, she was there at the house with Clay. She was the one that was ringing the doorbell trying to see what was going on.
Okay. Do you have a sense that the police here, or the FBI here, do you have a sense that we have a good enough list of people to call and check with?
I think so, because I've gone through my entire phone. I know Nicole's gone through her entire phone. Amanda, anybody that lives here that knows Shanann, they pretty much have the same contact list.
Okay.
So if there's somebody that's not on my phone, it's on theirs.
Okay. Has somebody, I think the police have Nicole's, or I'm sorry, your wife's phone, right?
Yes.
And I don't want to pronounce her name wrong,
Shanann.
Shanann? Okay. So the police have Shanann's phone?
Yep.
Do they have your phones? Have they looked at your phones?
I don't think so.
Okay. Can I run that out and have them look real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any password I'm going to run it to?
3387,
3307?
3387.
3387. Are there any other phones we can check?
I get asked all the time, Dr. Paris, what food should I eat to heal my arthritis? Well,
Okay. When they look at this, what's the best thing that they can do to, I don't know, to say, look for these contacts, look for this Instagram, look for this Snapchat, you
So
know?
like the only thing on here that I would say is gonna be weird because our contact list is the same.
Oh, you guys have a shared contact,
Yeah,
like every Google?
Yeah, it's like all the, what drove me nuts is that when she like downloaded to the cloud, it multiplied or duplicated.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, so it's the same person over and over
10
again.
people over, oh, okay.
So we have the same contact.
Okay. So I'm gonna run this out.
Okay.
So 330 or 3387, and I really want them to just not physically rip this phone apart, but really dive in.
Okay.
And are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna hand this off to somebody. Okay. All right, I'll be back.
Now he's thinking, oh crap, are they going to see that calculator app on my phone and those pictures of Nicole Kessinger on my phone and my phone calls and my texts?
Are there any other phones at home we can look at?
That's the only ones I know of, it's hers and mine.
Computers?
She has a laptop that she barely uses it
Okay. Where's the laptop?
in the office.
At home?
Yep.
Okay. I think that, I'm sorry that I'm catching up here, this always happens. The police are the first people to get a call, then when it's serious like this with missing kids, then a day or two later we come in, so I'm sorry, I'm playing catch up. It's always good to repeat it though. So laptop at home, does it have a password?
I don't think so. It might, but that's the one she uses.
Oh, okay.
Just
Do you
in her office.
have any idea?
I have an idea of what the password could be.
Okay.
It's like 428 4915 capital S lowercase w. That's their main password.
4284915, capital S, lowercase w. And we'll probably just have you bring that invoice. Is that okay? Okay, so they don't have it now, the cops don't have it now. Okay. So laptops. Any other, like a Fitbit? Is there tablets?
I've had it, but I have not found that.
Does she have it?
I've not found it yet. She has it, but I haven't seen it in the house.
Okay, so possibly she has it?
Possibly.
Oh, okay.
A tablet.
That was a long time ago.
And so is it a full-on iPad, like,
Yep.
that you could use it to, like,
A Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi? Could you use it to navigate to an address?
You could text from it.
Oh, okay. So then, if it's possible and she has it and she's somewhere hurt or somewhere that we can't find her, she can't, in other words, could we somehow track that? Does that GPS?
It has to be sent to the Wi-Fi first, actually.
Oh, so it's like a phone then, it's
No.
Has
okay.
to be somewhere with
She has a
Wi-Fi.
watch as well, but I have not found that.
She has like a
Apple Watch.
Apple Watch, okay.
I've
Do you know where that is?
I've not found it.
I've
It's
not found
on
the
charger.
Apple Watch.
And it's not at your house, that you can tell? Okay. Do you think the password for the iPad's the same?
No, it's probably 2385.
238. Is that common for her?
Yes.
And what
On a
about-
4-digit it is.
Okay, what about for her Apple Watch?
2385.
238, okay. I don't have an Apple Watch. Is that one where you have to unlock it usually? Okay. And does she usually have a password?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
On her phone, it's different because it's 6-digit, but
Okay, what's your phone number?
it's going to be 013119.
Is that a birthday or something?
The next baby.
Oh,
Due date.
due date, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. So if she's, and again, this is probably something that the cops in the other room know about, if she's due in January, she's 4 or 5 months pregnant?
She was 14, 15 weeks.
Okay. All right. Do you guys know the sex of the baby?
We weren't going to tell anybody yet.
But you do know it?
Mhm.
Okay. But she knows it?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's finish this, and then we'll get into more of this.
Okay.
So how else can we track her? Does she have another phone that you know of?
That's the only phone I've ever seen him use.
Okay, what's the phone number?
910
Uh-huh.
850 3286.
Okay. So, strap on your CSI hat. You can imagine the FBI has some pretty cool tricks and toys and everything. Is there anything you can think of that we should be doing?
Honestly, everything that I saw today was like, it put me on a whirlwind. I didn't think all that was going to happen. So that everything that happened today, I thought you guys were like spot on.
Okay. Is there anything that a friend has said? Oh, has the FBI done this? Well, you probably didn't know the FBI was involved until an hour ago.
Yeah.
Is there any good ideas that your friends have had saying, man, I gotta try this, I gotta do this?
A lot of people have asked about Amber Alerts, but I'm not sure like why that. I'm not sure I'm sure Amber Alerts have to do with like, all right, if you know someone has taken a kid, but since the last person you saw was the mom,
Yeah.
and you don't think everybody's going.
Yeah.
That's probably why Amber Alerts not really
Yeah.
used in this respect.
Well, they did a press statement. So, Amber Alerts are a little bit different. One thing that helps Amber Alerts is cars. When you're driving down the freeway and you say, missing person, look for this car. What car do we look for?
That's the only car she has is the one that left in the garage.
A Lexus, and that's what you drove here tonight?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any other cars that you drive?
Just my work truck.
Okay.
This is work truck.
Lexus does the Lexus is here, okay. How could she have left the house?
Only way she could have left the house is if somebody picked her up, but it'd have to have been from the back. Because it's the camera in the front, when the neighbor, the way it faces the driveway, it would have picked that up. Only thing it picked up was me leaving at like 5:26.
Okay. How do you know? Is it your camera?
It's the neighbor's camera.
Oh, did he tell you?
Yeah, we were all over there watching it with
Okay.
the officer.
Okay. All right.
They just showed me loading up my truck.
Oh. Is it on all the time?
His camera's on all the time, yep.
Okay. And all I saw was you leaving?
Yep.
Did it show her coming home?
I didn't show her walking in, no.
Okay.
But she was in the house when I
Yeah,
was
obviously.
So I was just like
I'm just trying to think, so the camera, is it possible that it doesn't catch everything? The motion detector?
from what I saw, I think, like, he showed me other, like, examples, but it was picking up, like, minuscule things
Uh-oh.
here and there. Like, it was like, it didn't take much to, like, just get it started recording.
Oh, so it probably is a motion detector then, it's
Yes.
a start point?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so then there's his camera, your security system,
And my doorbell camera right
and your
there.
doorbell camera.
And the only thing that was strange about mine that morning was that when I left, it said garage door 2 remained open.
When you left, were you parked in the garage when you left?
I pulled out and it said, I thought it shut.
Oh, okay.
And it said main garage door 2 open when I went back and looked at all the history. And Nicole said that it was shut when she got there. But it said it was, because on my notifications, it'll say something's left open, but it won't say when it's shut.
Oh, so you got a notification it was open
Mm-hmm.
after when you thought you shut it?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Next I looked back, I saw it shutting.
Okay. Kids, do they have any security little watches?
Mhm.
You know, somebody had a call on button?
Like
Nothing
your
that?
Something like that, yeah.
No iPads?
Mhm.
How old are they?
4 and 3.
Oh, they're pretty young. Okay. Anything else you can think of?
Honestly, like, we've exhausted like every option, every friend that we know
Okay.
that could have helped her.
Okay. So we talked about her decompressing a few times. Where would you do that?
She would have to go to a friend's house to do that. She wouldn't just go anywhere, not with the kids.
At a hotel?
I've checked, if she had any cash on her, I'm not sure like how much she would have had on her. She usually doesn't carry much cash. And the cash she had in her wallet was from Nicole the previous day,
From who?
from Nicole.
Oh, okay.
She told me that was the cash she gave her when I saw when it was on her purse.
For what?
No, it was, I'm not sure, she didn't tell me.
Okay.
But that was on the cash she had in her wallet.
And is that still at the house, you said?
Yeah,
Okay. So is her license in the law?
yeah.
So she got no cash that we know of, no license, no phone. Anything about the clothes in the closet, the hamper, the drawers, that makes you think, she packed some boots, she's going to the mountains.
Like, she has so many clothes in that closet, like, it'd be hard to really tell if she took a little amount. I mean, if she took a big amount, it'd be pretty obvious, but like a little amount, it would never.
Okay. All right.
She has like, say like that whole wall, and then the bottom and the other side.
Okay.
If you take this room, it's about the size of it.
A woman with a lot of clothing? You don't say?
No,
Okay. Shoes, anything but shoes that you think?
she has a whole shoe closet.
So there's nothing obvious that screams at you, she's preparing for this type of activity? Okay.
I have no girls, kids clothes too. There was enough that was there that I saw missing.
Okay. So, all right. So I know it's hard to talk about. You mentioned that there was a hard conversation the two of you had about
Separation.
your marriage and separation. Now that you've had a little bit of time to think, looking back on that conversation, can you connect the dots between both of you being upset and crying, and here we are, and now she and the kids are gone? What do you think about?
I think about like, did I cause this? Like, did I make her feel like she needs to leave? And like,
Did I cause
did she
this?
really feel like, the things she was saying, did she really feel the same? Did she really feel like, all right, the disconnection? Did she really feel all that, or she's just saying it? Like, maybe like us falling out of love, was that really registering her at that point in time, or did it register after I left to go to work? And then she's just like, I'm just gonna leave.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know, because she laid back down.
Okay.
She was still there when I left. But like, maybe she sat there and thought about it, like, do I really need to stay here right now? Like, if he doesn't love me, maybe I should just go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chris, that sounds plausible.
Can you really get into that conversation with me? And what I want to know is, you obviously have a very deep relationship with her, she's your wife, but it's going to be easy for me to listen to what was said and maybe think that there are some clues about, maybe she did just lay down and cry a little bit longer and something happened to her, or maybe she did get frustrated and she left. So can we recreate that conversation?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what happened.
So I crawled back in bed.
So sorry, let's start from...
Now he's got to think of a
she was home late at
conversation that
night.
never happened.
Okay, I'll start from that point.
Okay. So she got home about 2 a.m.
And were you already home?
Oh, yeah, I
Awkward.
was passed out.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I felt her get into bed, that was about it. About 4 a.m. That's when my alarm. That's when my alarm went off to go to work.
Okay.
That's when I got ready and everything.
So she gets in at 2, alarm was off at 4, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you were sleeping that whole time?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the conversation hasn't started?
No.
Okay.
Well, so about when my alarm goes off, that's when, after I get ready for work, I crawl back in bed and have that conversation.
So you wake up at 4?
Mm-hmm.
Depression. Guess what? I'm going to therapy.
Okay.
At 4, then what until you start a conversation?
Get dressed, get my clothes on, brush my teeth, deodorant, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Shower? Okay.
Shower up, night before.
Okay, what do you do for a living?
I work in the oil and gas.
Okay, so then it doesn't matter if you go to work without a shower? Okay.
Doesn't really matter.
All right.
It's gonna be bad anyways.
Yeah. So then you wake up, you get ready. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
You're fine.
So then what time we're talking about when you're ready to talk with her?
About 4:15 or so.
Okay, and so she was asleep from the time she got in 2 to 4,
Mhm.
4:15. You wake up at 4, 4:15, you're ready. Okay, and at 4:15, you start talking.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you talk at 4:15 in the morning?
I felt like I needed to talk to her face to face. Like, I wanted to say something much, like when she was in Arizona, like, I didn't want to do it through a text. I didn't want to do it through a call. I was like, I got back in bed, I was like, I needed to talk to her about this. Because she had told me, like, when she was going to fly back, that she wanted to get up with me so she could take a shower. She wanted me there with me.
What do you mean when she got back?
When she flew back in.
From Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay. So she told you, let's have a talk.
No, she wanted to get up with me so she could take a shower and get the airport off her because she was her flight was delayed.
Oh, okay.
Her flight was supposed to get in at 11, but it didn't leave till 11.
Okay. And so did she call you or did she text you?
I think there was a call.
Okay.
No,
All right. And so at 4:15, what happens?
that's when I crawled back in bed and I woke her up.
Okay.
And then proceeded to talk to her about how I was feeling, about how I felt like what's been going on with us for the last, what she's seen like the last 6 weeks, because she was in North Carolina and I was down there just the last week. But from just being apart and just like figuring out who people are. It's like honestly, like the best way for people to really find out who they are is to spend time apart.
I agree.
And it's kind of just like, you can see yourself. And then on the last week, that's when I went back to North Carolina, and I was there for the last week there.
Okay.
And when we were together, we could feel like it wasn't there, that spark.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's kind of cliche, but that spark wasn't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And on that night, I woke that morning, early that morning, I told her, like, the disconnection is there, like, it's not going away, like, the connection we had in the beginning, it's not there anymore. It's like, I don't feel like the love we have is there anymore.
Okay.
And it's just like, I don't feel like, I mean, if we want to stay together as kids, I'm not sure if that's going to work. Like, bringing
That's
us,
what you told her?
yeah, like, having another baby, bringing us into this relationship, do you think this is going to work with us being together? Or separation, I think, is going to be the best possible route for us. And that's when, like, all the crying and everything proceeded. And it was very hard just to talk about that. But I needed to do it face to face.
Yeah.
And I needed to see her face, like, while I did it. I couldn't text, phone, whatever. I needed to be.
Okay. He is so full of crap. He needed to see her face to do what he had to do. It wasn't a conversation. He needed to see her face. He needed her to be there because he was going to kill her. And now he's trying to turn it into a conversation, which makes absolutely no sense. Why you would wake up a pregnant woman that got in at 2 a.m, at 4:15 in the morning, to have this conversation when he could have spoken to her at night when he got back home. No, this is all something he's got to do because he didn't get to clean up the scene, and now he's got to make this seem like they had a conversation, an emotional conversation, because there was a disconnect, and he had to see her face. He had to do it face to face. Of course, he had to do what he had to do face to face, but it wasn't a conversation, and it's so freaking eerie.
Face to face and be able to see her and know that she was going to be at least reciprocating back to me.
Oh, what did she say?
She said that it was, she wanted to kind of work on it, but if that's the way I was feeling, then she respects that.
Okay.
And she said that most of the time when you have kids and you have a relationship where people, like, they don't love each other anymore, they fall out of love, this connection, that having kids, even bringing a new baby into the equation, doesn't always work as well as keeping, like, the couple happy and the kids happy. It's like, it almost is like better to have two on different sides.
Yeah, you don't want to spend.
That's what
years
NK told
just
him.
letting each other and bathing for kids.
Yeah, well, that's one thing.
Okay. And is that accurate? I don't
Well,
know.
that's totally accurate.
Okay.
I mean, you don't want to be the people parading around with like a mask on when the kids are around, and then when the kids go to sleep, you just go your separate ways.
Okay.
Like, that's what I don't want.
Okay.
And that's why we're talking about that separation that night. And that's why.
That night? I thought it was that morning.
Right there.
Okay.
I thought it was that morning, Chris.
Emotional for you too?
Oh yeah, I was bawling my eyes out.
He's bawling his eyes out.
So then as a result, how long did that conversation last?
It lasted so about 15 minutes. Started. We talked about the house as well.
Okay. What did you say about the house?
Like, we needed to sell the house. Like, there's no way, like, we can stay in this house and have another kid and be able to just keep everything afloat. And she's like, well, where do you want to move to? I was like, well, we can move to Brighton, we can move, are you familiar with the area?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. So we can move to Brighton, we can move to my mom, we can move, like, wherever.
I thought you were getting separated.
Okay.
And she's like, well, because she had already contacted.
Create your perfect
He's so
room
all
with
over the
patio
place.
enclosures. Whether you are looking to enclose your existing porch,
He's so all over the place. I thought they were getting separated, but now he's talking about them moving, and we can't stay in this house with the new baby, and they're moving, right? And it makes it sound like they're moving together. He's all over the place. He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
The realtor the week before through an email to see like what she thought, and that's when like I actually contacted Ann that day, like pretty much probably about 8 o'clock that day.
Who's Ann?
The realtor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and asked her, like, if we can get the ball rolling, like, see what she thought.
So you said your wife called a week before to the realtor?
Emailed her.
Okay, so then this conversation early in the morning wasn't a shock to either of you or a surprise. It was the next step
Yeah.
in a long conversation you have to have leading up to it.
Yeah, this was not like just like weighing up like a Big Bang Theory type thing. It was just like, this was,
Okay.
that's why it was just an emotional conversation, like, because it wasn't just like come out of nowhere, left field type of thing. Like,
Oh.
we knew like something wasn't, we knew about what we wanted to do with the house. We knew like what's going on with it. Like, we knew something was.
Mm-hmm.
Is it accurate to say that then the time when you were away from each other, when she was in North Carolina, the time when she was in Arizona, maybe the two of you knew that that could have been time you were talking, and so when you finally get together, it's, we can't wait another second, we're going to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Okay. And tell me what's wrong.
No, you're right.
Okay, so then the conversation starts at 4:15. You talk about each other, your marriage, you talk about the house, and
And that's when the conversation ends, and we're talking, that's when she said she's gonna take her friends, or take her and her friends take her and the kids to her friend's house.
Stumbling.
Who's friend?
That's what she did not say. That's
So
what,
she did say, I'm taking the kids to a friend's house.
Yeah.
Are you sure she said that?
yes,
You're positive?
yes.
Okay, that's good. Now we're back to the blowing off steam
Yeah,
probability, which we like, right?
yeah, that's what I like.
Okay.
That's what he likes.
So let's, if we're gonna play the DVR, let's rewind 5 minutes. So we're at the house, you're talking about the house, you're saying this is gonna work with the kid, we're going to sell this house, then how do you remember what led to her talking about the kids?
As far as like taking to a friend's house,
You know, like what conversations you guys had?
that's when I rolled out of bed, and that's when she pretty much, she told me like, I'm taking the kids to a friend's house, that and I'll be back later.
Are you sure she said she'll be back later? On a scale of 1 to 10, how positive?
That's a 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
Okay. So she said, I'm gonna take the kids to a friend's house, but I'll be back later. Why?
From what I just told her.
That doesn't make sense though, because
I know.
you'd be at work or she had to leave.
That's the thing, like, why, I'm not sure why she wanted to go somewhere,
Okay.
but that's what she wanted, like, maybe she didn't want to be in that house after what we were just
Fair
talking
enough,
about.
you just talked about it, yeah. It's no longer mentally, emotionally her house then.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's focus on, I'm gonna take the kids to my friend's house. What does that mean?
Hopefully it's someone that she trusts. Hopefully it's someone that she knows pretty well, and hopefully maybe they have a kid that Bella and Celeste can play with.
But you have no idea who that would be?
Because we've exhausted all those information, all those people.
Okay. Does that surprise you? And I don't know your wife, but maybe that's something that's in her wheelhouse. Does that surprise you that she said that and did that?
It doesn't surprise me that she went somewhere. Like, she said it might have been a play date,
Okay,
but she was very vague in the fact that she just said she was going to a friend's house.
okay.
I didn't say who.
On the
That's
kid's
what I
first
had
day
to,
of
like,
school.
Tell me like where the kids are.
What time did she text her?
He's got to look at his notes to see what he wrote, because it's a lie. You have to remember lies.
Okay.
You got to look at his notes.
Okay. So then we're at I'm gonna take the kids, I'm gonna go to a friend's house. You sure she didn't say I'm gonna take them somewhere to a hotel or to
Oh, there no, there was
a
no.
positive? She said to a friend's house. And not just someone's house, but a friend's house.
Yeah, because like, if it was a hotel, I would have definitely asked the question like, where are you going to a hotel?
Yeah. Okay.
That wouldn't, yeah.
That's such
Where
so.
can we look to
stupid.
find friends that you might not know about?
Honestly, Facebook's the only place.
Facebook?
Because that's the one she frequents.
Okay.
That's the only place.
What's her Facebook account? Or her username?
I think the Chanel was.
Just regular Chanel?
Well, they have access on her phone.
S-H-A-N.
A-N-N.
A-N-N. And so they can, I think they can log into the phone, right? I think they're in her phone, right?
Oh yeah, they can scrub it, the icon and it's right there.
So right there, they can
They can do whatever they want.
And they can, okay. All right.
It doesn't take much, it's always logged in.
Okay. Doesn't she do something online? Doesn't she have an online presence or something?
It's with Thrive, the direct sales business.
Isn't that like her job?
Yeah.
So it's called what?
Thrive, yeah. The company's called The Bell, but
The what?
the company's called The Bell.
Lavelle?
Yeah, L-E-hyphen-B-E-L.
L-E-B-E-L. Okay.
Yeah, but the product's called Thrive.
Okay. What is it?
It's probiotics, prebiotics, vitamins, and minerals.
Okay.
It's all plant-based stuff. It works very well.
Dietary, supplementary, okay. And what does she do for them?
She's a promoter.
Okay. Sales?
Yes.
Okay. Is this is this like you try to sell it personally that you know? Okay, so she doesn't have a storefront that she works at?
No, it's all cloud-based.
Okay, home-based?
Yeah,
Work from home?
I can work anywhere.
And so where would be a list of contacts at Thrive that we can go and start talking to people?
Oh, we've already gave them all to them. Like everybody that she contacts through Drive, they have it.
They have that?
Yep.
In that phone?
Mhm.
Through what? Yeah?
No, just like all the people that she contacts throughout the day.
Okay.
Like from Addie and Sam, and they're all in there.
Add an example of that.
Addie Maloney's one of her leaders back east.
Oh, okay.
Sam Paley, another
Someone
leader.
that's supporting her sales.
Yeah.
What about people who, because she's in sales, what about customers she tries to reach out to, she doesn't even know? How does she do that?
Messenger.
You mentioned strangers?
She either it's her Facebook page is I guess it's public.
Okay, so she has friends on friends Facebook
Yeah.
that might someday think that they want to thrive, they can reach her.
Mm-hmm.
How else does she do it?
It's mainly just through Facebook.
Through Facebook?
Yeah, like if she has any, she might do it on Instagram every once in a while. She'll like sync them both, so that
Okay.
goes to both. But
Facebook, and what was it, Instagram?
yeah,
Okay, what's her Instagram username?
I have no clue.
You have no idea?
No, it might just be Shanann Thrives, not Shanann with a underscore Thrives.
So you do it time?
I do, she kind of runs it.
Okay. Do you do separately from her?
It's a different team, but
Okay.
I'm under her.
Okay.
Like I signed, it's like she signed me up under her.
Okay.
So whatever I do helps her.
Right. Okay. What else is not thinking? So let's continue with trying to go to my parents' house. Then what happens?
That's when I go downstairs, make my protein shake, get my lunch, everything ready.
Because you're not going back to bed at this point.
No, I gotta go to work now.
And this is somewhere near 5?
5:15.
Okay.
And that's when I go out, get my truck, load everything in it, and 5:30,
Okay.
for about, what the neighbors think, said about 5:26, gone.
Okay. And she saw the house then? Are you sure?
There's that, I mean, she never came back upstairs.
And explain your house to me. Dan, do you leave through downstairs?
I'll leave, yeah, go downstairs and you leave through the garage.
So then this conversation happened upstairs?
Yes.
In the master bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. And you're sure she didn't come down?
Like, once I was in the garage, I didn't see anything after that.
Did you see her car in there?
Yes.
Okay, you left when her car was in there?
Yep.
So it's clear she's in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to determine if there's any other time she could have disappeared. And then, so from 5:30 then, what?
That's when I went to work.
Okay. All right.
And then 7:40 is the next time I texted her.
How much text her then?
I hadn't heard from her, and I was just seeing if she knew, like, or just seeing where she went.
Texted Shanann, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And asked if she could tell me where she was taking the kids. Oh. Okay, so at this point, it's 2 hours later, you're thinking, I wonder where she's going.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that text on your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Then all the way, what happened between 7:40 and noon?
I was outside working.
Okay. Noon, texted Shanann, call me, and that's when we got your phone too. Okay. 12:10, doorbell visitor.
That's when Nicole was at the door and it pinged on my phone.
Okay. What's she doing there then? Oh, then 10 minutes later, you called Nicole to see what was going on, and she told me she couldn't get a hold of Shanann either. And then her shoes were next, whose shoes? Shanann's shoes?
Yep.
Were next to the door, and her car was in the garage, next to the door, inside or outside?
And so there's like a little small rectangular window next to the door.
Okay.
Right in there.
Does that mean anything to you that Shanann, or her shoes are with her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, when you come in the house, does she usually come in the front door?
Most of the day, unless she drives in.
Okay.
Then she goes to the garage.
Okay.
That was just in the previous night when she came in.
Oh, okay. So then, let's think about this for a minute. If she comes in, drives in with, what's the other car, Lexus?
Yep.
She drives in the Lexus, comes in.
She comes in the garage door that way. She drives in the garage. But since Nicole dropped her off that previous night, she came from the front door.
Oh, someone else is driving. The Lexus is already there.
Your license already.
Okay, so then that makes sense.
Yeah.
You were trying to be like, did she walk out or was she taking that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then it makes sense that her shoes are still right there.
Mhm.
But she's obviously not wearing those shoes. Okay. All right, let's keep going. 12:40. If you weren't first find Nicole to reach her, how do you know?
Because that's when she was still at the front door, and I was
to reach her at the front door.
Yeah.
Okay. 1 p.m. I'm now on my way home to check on my family. Is that just because you're worried based on the conversation?
Yeah.
Well, had the police contacted you by then?
No.
Okay. 2, right? Sorry, go ahead.
But Nicole said she was probably going to call the cops.
Okay. All right. Now, so it sounds like Nicole's pretty worried.
Mhm.
More worried than you.
Well, so once she couldn't get anything out of her and nothing was going on in the house, I was like, all right, I got to go home.
Over the past 6 months, we have been investigating as well as exposing the truth behind all of these food processing plants.
But it sounds like Nicole is more worried.
Yeah, because like most of if she doesn't text me, like I understand that, like sometimes that happens.
Okay.
But for her not to get back to her direct sales group, that was very unorthodox.
Okay. And you had a pretty tough morning with her.
Yeah.
So she's, again, decompressing.
Yeah.
So it's okay that she's not texting you, maybe, but you're gonna come home and check, in this case.
Mm-hmm.
But Nicole's freaking out,
Mhm.
is that right?
Yeah.
And I'm walking myself through this, you tell me, no, that's not what happened.
No, I mean, like, she like, for her not to get back to her friends like that, like, that's not normal, because, like, she'll get, like, tons of text messages throughout the day from direct sales.
Alright.
Like, if she doesn't get back to me, I just assume that she's busy.
Okay. No, wait, I'm gonna check my family, do you feel my eyes alone, open the garage door, how?
I have my, button.
Okay, it's in your truck?
Yeah.
Okay, and get inside the house, Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, who are Bella and Celeste?
That's what my kids.
Okay, oh, are not in the house, oh, okay. Shanann's wedding ring is in on
On a nightstand.
her phone is on the couch, her purse is still here, the medicine for the kids is still here, the car with the car seats are still here, there is no sign of them anywhere. Frederick police officer and detectives are asking Nicole and I questions about where she could have gone or who she could be with. How did that go?
I mean, we're trying to go through from what we could gather, like, where she could have gone.
Okay.
As far as, like, what we saw in the house, it didn't really make sense.
Okay.
So that's where we're just, like, started to look through the phone and just kind of call around. Once we found the phone and Nicole knew what the passcode was, just kind of load it up and see what transpired. And obviously, there was, like, 50 something text messages that came, that was, like, popped through.
Okay. All right.
Because the phone was off.
Okay. What do you mean the phone was off?
It was off.
When you found it was off?
Off.
Was the battery dead?
No.
Why are you thinking that?
I have no clue. Like, why was it off and why was it not with her?
It's weird, right? Because if you're saying that she does a ton of texting and marketing and sales and calling certain people back, okay. How would it turn off?
You'd have to turn it off.
Okay.
Because it wasn't dead. It was like 50% or so, I
Are
think.
you sure? Okay. And a little couch, what do you think of that?
So, usually it's not right by her nightstand.
Okay.
That's usually where it always is.
Nightstand in the bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else about that?
No, that is weird that it was sitting like on the couch just in the right there.
Okay. So, can we back up a tiny bit? You come home, no one had been in the house.
No.
Okay. No one could be in the house, is that right?
Yeah, unless you had a garage door.
Okay. And that's how you got in.
So,
So at this point, you get there, are the police there at this point?
yes.
So you, the police, Nicole, that's it.
Her son.
Her son, what's her son's name?
I think it's Nick. I think it's Nick.
Nick. And so you and Nicole aren't besties per se. You and Nicole.
Oh, no, like, we're friends, but yeah, my wife and her are really good friends.
Okay. And so Nick, you don't spend time with Nick?
No.
Okay. Why is Nick there?
That he was just with his mom.
Okay. Is there anything weird about Nicole and Nick?
Not that I can really think of.
Do you think anything about your wife not being around has anything to do with Nicole and Nick?
I would hope not.
No, you'd hope not.
I mean, like, Nicole is one of her good friends.
He's trying to make stuff up as he goes along, trying to think of something.
Okay.
I don't think they could have done, like, I don't think they could have done anything, like, as far as, like, helping her get out and then
Helping her. He keeps saying helping.
they couldn't find her. I don't think they could be capable of that.
I don't think they would be capable of that.
Okay. So then they're at home. Police officers there. Then walk me through that.
He's trying to leave it open, but he knows that's ridiculous.
You go through the house?
Oh, like, I open the garage door and I just go into the house. I'm looking, like, I just go in the garage door and I'm looking.
Is the police officer saying, hey, let me talk to you for a minute?
No.
No, okay.
No.
What's the vibe like?
I go up there, shake his hand, and I'm like opening the garage door at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I go through, and then they're waiting at the front door. I go in and open that up, and then
You
they
forgot
come
to
in.
say you opened her
So
car
they
door.
go through the rest with you. Okay.
Well, they went in the garage. They didn't come in the way I did.
All right. So then everybody goes in. Okay, and then what?
I run upstairs and I look in the bedrooms.
Okay. And because that's where she would be.
That's where I would expect.
So just a standard house, upstairs bedroom, downstairs living area?
Yep.
Okay.
There's one office downstairs.
Okay. And then, so then upstairs, then what?
I'm going to Bella's room, going to Celeste's room, playroom, master bedroom. I'm looking everywhere, like bathrooms, and nothing.
Okay. And then,
I found the wedding ring right there on the nightstand, and then.
right then?
Yeah.
Okay. They got weird?
She only takes it off. and she
That's
goes.
not what happened, Chris, because you went in, and then you went and opened the door. You forgot that part.
That was just like probably a result of our conversation,
Oh,
I would think.
okay.
And then Nick finds her phone on the couch.
And why did he find her phone on the couch? What's he looking for there?
He was looking.
For
Clues?
clues?
Just looking around too, and just happened to just like to run across it right there on the couch next to the cushion.
So you found it, it's not as though you were calling it, you found it, you just found it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what?
Saw the, Nicky gets to put the passcode in, because it was a 4-digit passcode before, and it was a 6-digit this time. So now, like,
Oh, 13119.
yeah,
She knew her friend's passcode?
yeah, I didn't, because it used to be 235, but I'm just changing it to 6.
How did Nikki know it?
Oh,
I
yeah.
get asked all the time, Dr. Paris, what food should I eat to heal my arthritis?
Maybe she knew it over the weekend, because I'd never seen this passcode on her phone.
Is that normal to you that Nicole might share her passcode with somebody?
I would think so.
And do you know her to have done that before?
No, because she's only told me her passcode before, like her phone's her lifeline, so.
Okay. Are she close to Nicole?
She's, decently close.
How long have you known each other?
Probably at least over a year.
How did they meet?
When Shanann's mom lived here, Shanann's mom worked she's a hairdresser, and Nikki was like one of the managers.
Oh,
Nicole, sorry.
okay. And then did Shanann get her hair done there or something by Nikki?
No,
Okay.
just Shannon's mom and Nicole were friends, and then Shannon got Nicole into the drive, and
Oh, okay.
from there.
Okay. So now we're at finding the phone, Nicole unlocking the phone, then what?
Waiting for everything to load up and watching all the text messages pop up, phone calls, missed calls pop up, and go from there.
And what were they?
It was just people asking like, are you okay? Where are you? Type things.
Okay. Okay. Okay, then what?
The police officer, he looks at the phone, he just kind of looks through it to see like if anything looks, up any of the text messages. And then I walk downstairs and I'm looking around down there, seeing if I see anything at all. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay.
And then I think that.
Look, back to the notes, Chris. Back to the notes.
Because the neighbor.
You don't have to remember the truth, Chris.
See if he saw anything. And
Who that was that?
I think it was the officer.
Okay.
He just went over there. And then that's when the neighbor called him back over to show he had some stuff the other night.
Okay.
To show him like whatever he had that I could put motion on it.
Okay. Who originally called the police?
Nicole.
Okay. And is that the time when you're telling me you're coming home and she's freaking out?
She said that she told me she was gonna call the police, but I thought, okay, I'm coming home. It's like, let me look through everything, let's see
Yeah.
what's going on here.
Let me get this cleaned
And
up.
on my way home, that's when she called me and said the cops are here.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You didn't want the cops there, did you, Chris?
Asking Kwana questions about where she could have gone, where she could go. 4 p.m. Police check neighbor security footage and questioned them as well. Okay? Have we talked about that? Is that what we're okay? Anything else about that?
No, it just shows Nicole dropping her off, but her not walking up, and it shows me loading my truck up. And about the time I told you I left.
Okay. Officer, detective, and sergeant come by to search the house and ask some more questions. How'd that go?
They just had me sign the paperwork to search the house,
Okay.
and I just waited outside and let them
Okay.
go through the house. There's a missing person more, I guess.
Sure. Okay.
You're welcome, Ruth.
And did they find any other clues? Okay. Begin calling around to anyone I know that could know something we see Shanann. Calling locals, hospitals, and hospitals as well. 7:30 p.m. Friends, Nick and Amanda come by to show support. Okay, so that beginning. So 6 p.m. Begin calling friends. Anyone I know that could know something or maybe seen Shanann. What happened there?
Same thing, like everybody that I've talked to, it's like they haven't heard from her, they haven't seen her, nothing. Called the hospital.
Who's helping you make these calls?
That's just me, at this point. That's
You by yourself?
about myself. I'm sure Nicole and other people were doing that while they were gone.
Okay.
Because they were gone at this
Where
point.
did Nicole go?
Back to her house.
Back to her house.
She was there when they came back to search the house.
Nicole was?
She was parked outside.
When is this, 5 o'clock?
Yeah, she was parked outside.
Did she come in and help them?
No.
Why not?
Well, because they told me to wait outside.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Is there any weapons in your house?
No.
Okay. If we wanted to bring a lot more people with a lot more tools and tricks to your house, could we do that tonight?
It's up to you.
It's
Okay.
up to you.
I was going to stay at a friend's house. I was on my way over there.
Okay.
Tonight, but that's up to you.
You're gonna stay right at the friend's house?
I was.
Okay. If we were to get into your house without you there, how would we do it?
Punch the passcode in the front, 2385.
Okay, that's the garage passcode?
No, that's the front door.
And I thought you were the latch or something preventing you from getting in.
I know, but if you don't latch it, it's...
Is that latch now?
Yeah.
Okay. We might think about that. I think it's a good idea.
Alright.
What do you think?
I was just going to go to a friend's house because I couldn't stay there last night. I couldn't even sleep there.
Who were friends?
I think Amanda.
Oh, is that her friends or your friends?
They were both of our friends.
Okay,
I run with Nate,
okay.
Runs
And when you say her, is that your wife or is that Nicholas?
my wife.
Your wife's Shanann's friends?
Yeah.
They can do it.
The camp-safe perimeter alarm system was designed solely to buy you more time to react to the situation. Let's set up the...
I think they're waiting outside right now.
Oh, are they? Were they the ones on TV?
More than likely.
Okay.
One bald guy?
Young kid with the brim ball cap?
Yeah.
Collar or something?
Yeah. Nothing.
That was Nick? Okay. I thought Nick was, no, Nicole's son.
Nick?
So there's two Nicks now?
Yeah.
Okay, so Nicole's son is Nick,
Yeah.
and your friend's Amanda.
Amanda and Nick. Yeah.
Are they married?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, I should say like a Nick and Amanda Thayer.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know the Thayer name. They showed up at the house somewhere, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right, good friends.
Mhm.
I know reason to worry about them.
No.
How do you and Shanann know them?
The Amanda through Thrive, or actually Amanda was at Primrose at where the kids went to school. She used to be director there.
Oh.
And once she left as the director position, when she left to go to a different school, that's when Shanann got her on Thrive and became friends, and me and Nick started running.
All right. Friend of the commercial support. Friend, is that Lauren Arnold?
Yep.
Who's that?
Shanann's high school friend
Okay.
was there.
And how did you find out about all this?
Facebook.
And so did you ask them who and where Shanann might be?
Oh yeah, like Shanann, Lauren and Shanann were actually supposed to meet up that day.
To do what?
Meet up at the house for this pregnancy pal thing.
At your house?
Mm-hmm.
What time?
Don't know.
Was there any communication about that?
Not to me.
How do you know?
That was the first I heard of it, because she said that they were supposed to meet up that day.
Oh, when she came over at 8,
Yeah.
she said, holy cow, we're gonna meet together, something like that.
Yeah, like she heard about everything on Facebook about Shanann being missing, and so yeah, her and I were supposed to, or instead, her and I were supposed to meet up and do a little pregnancy pal thing.
Is Lauren pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. First kid?
Third.
Okay. And so, whole 3 kids. So they were just gonna meet up because they're expecting mothers.
Yeah, they're probably just gonna just hang out and find each other in a while.
Okay.
I ain't worried about her though.
Okay. Who are you reading?
Anybody that I know right now, like, if they have not told me anything, it drives me nuts. It just drives me nuts, because, like, there's no way, like, the people that I know that have kids that could have helped her, if she's at somebody's house right now, like, they would kind of say something by now. With all that's going on, there's no way they could have kept their mouth shut by now.
So then who are you worried about?
Honestly, like, I can't really say, like, if I'm worried about anybody right now as far as, like, any of her friends that I know.
Okay.
All of them are showing, like, they're deep concern about what's
Right,
going on
deep
right now.
concern, and you're not.
I think like with that deep concern, that can't be faked.
Right, can't be fake, because you can't fake it.
Then
He knows he can't fake that deep concern.
It has to be somebody I don't know, honestly.
Really?
The only thing that I can think of is somebody I don't know.
That's the only lie you can think of?
does your gut tell you that Shanann and the kids walked out, or that they were taken out?
Yesterday I would have said they walked out. Today I would have said I'm leaning the other direction.
The other direct, he can't even say it.
Friends Dave Cologne and Jeremy Lindstrom come by to show support. Who are they?
Dave Cologne, when I worked for Ford, he ran an auto body shop. He actually works for Boulder County Sheriff's Department now.
Oh, okay.
And Jeremy Lindstrom, he worked in the sales department for Mobile Tech, and he works on the Ford dealership now.
Okay.
And Jeremy's the daughter just watched the kids over that this past weekend too, so we know them pretty well.
Which is not
McKenna?
okay. Was she the one watching the kids the night before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's how I name in her report. So, how did that go with Dave and Jeremy?
Oh, good, they're just there just to show support, just chilling in the kitchen.
Just two of them?
And then us, me, and them.
And Lauren and all them had gone by then?
Oh yeah, everybody else is gone by then.
Okay. When they come over to show support, what are you guys talking about?
Just talking just about like what could have happened. Like, do you think she could have gone somewhere? Do you think she was actually taken? Like, what just random questions like that. And then they're just talking about just other stuff to kind of get things off my head a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you're gonna get things off your head if your whole family's vanished.
10 o'clock, I lay in bed and proceed to take calls from friends and family the rest of the night. How did that go?
And just answering, nobody can sleep as far as East Coast, anything like, Addie, Sam,
Who's adding 10?
Addie, they're leaders in Thrive.
Okay.
They're people that Shanann reaches up to.
Okay. Have we talked to them?
Oh yeah, he talked to them on the phone.
You have.
I've texted them, it's all in there.
Okay. And so the real live communication sense, we couldn't find Shanann?
Yeah, like that.
Okay. Have police talked to them?
I believe so.
Okay. Just on the phone?
Yes.
Are they in North Carolina?
No, they're like northeast,
Northeast what?
like Baltimore.
Oh,
Yeah, over there.
All right. Who else calls?
See her mom, talk to my parents, talk to my sister, talk to texted with Kelly, that's another, she lives in New Jersey. Oh, who else? Jeremy, Dave. Just all those people.
Okay. All right. Can we talk about something that's hard to talk about? So when I work investigations like this, I have to keep an open mind on everything. Okay. And part of keeping an open mind is listening to you talk about your wife and your marriage. And the day she goes missing is the day that you guys have marital discord.
Right.
So you can understand what I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Makes me sick to my stomach, honestly. Like, I know, like, I've talked to a few of my friends, like, this does not look good on you. I'm like, I know.
Yeah.
Like, if people knew that we were having marital issues, they're gonna look at me, especially with the way everything looks.
The way
And
everything
honestly,
looks.
it just makes me sick to my stomach because
Like, does
this is
make them
something
sick.
that I would never do.
Yeah.
Ever.
In anybody's eyes, right, Chris?
I know, like, you have to look at every vantage point. This is something I'll never do to my kids or my wife. At all.
At all. At all.
I'm not sure, like, what I could do to make people believe that, just because if they...
Make people believe it because
they
it's
knew
a
we were having
lie.
marital discord, they would automatically look at me. But there's no, I would harm anybody in my family. At all.
At all.
I know we were having marital discord, and we had that conversation that morning, and then she goes, we have no idea where she is, or the kids. I promise you that I had nothing to do with any of that.
I promise you.
Are you telling me the truth? Absolutely.
I'm telling you the absolute
Why should I
truth.
believe you? Because I'm a very trustworthy person,
I'm a very
and the people that do know me, they know how I'm a calm person. I am not an argumentative person. I am a person who is never going to be abusive or physical in any kind of relationship. I will never harm my kids. I will never harm my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's
you can
what
talk to
everybody
me,
believes.
Talk to any of my friends.
Talk to
any
them.
of her friends. They know me. They know
They know.
I'm a low-key guy that's quiet. I'm not about confrontation. I'm not about anything that elevates to that level. I mean, like, if someone yells at me, screams at me, I just take it, and I just try to get it by the wayside and get it back to where it's cool. Like, just a cool conversation to where, like, none of that gets to that height. Because I am not that person.
He is
I've
not
never
that
been
guy.
person.
Never been it. That's what you want everyone to believe.
Okay. You can imagine it's my job, okay? And I told you that tonight, you know, we talk about things that might offend you, you know that we have to get to the bottom of this. You know that, yeah. Okay. Would you take a polygraph?
Sure.
Okay. Would you take it tonight?
That's what you want me to do. I've never done it. I don't know, like, what it involves, but
Okay. You know where it is?
from what I've seen, it goes on your finger.
You know what the purpose of one is?
That's for a lie detector test.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we do this? Let's take a little break. I'm going to come back in here because I have a lot more questions for you. Okay. I want to remind you that tonight is voluntary. Okay. I can't keep you in here. I won't keep you in here. If you want to get right up and walk out of here, you can do that. Okay? All right. Do you want to keep talking to me?
I mean, I can. I mean, if that's what you want, I can keep talking.
Okay. And you understand that I'm not arresting you right now.
Right
You
now.
understand that you can walk out of here in a minute.
Okay.
I can do that if you want to talk to you. I have a lot more questions for you. Okay. Do you know where your wife is?
No, no,
Are you telling the truth?
I'm telling you the absolute truth.
Okay. Let's take a tiny break. Get some more easy resting.
All right, now.
Okay. There's some water, Gatorade actually if you need it. I'm going to step out for a minute. I need to look over some of my notes. I'm going to come right back in here. I'm not going to be out very long, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
Crap. Crap, he's thinking. This is not looking good. He thinks I did this. I'm not fooling him. They took my phone. They're going to find that secret calculator app. They're going to find out I've been lying to them. I'm going to get caught. Why didn't I remember these notes better? I should have had a better story. What am I gonna do? I wonder what Nicole's doing. Nikki. My father's coming in. Gotta talk to my dad. What time is it? It's getting late. This guy doesn't believe me. They want me to take a lie detector tonight. Crap. I can't refuse it, then I'll look guilty. But he said he wasn't arresting me right now. He just didn't say he wasn't arresting me. It's just a matter of time. Wonder what he's doing. I wonder if they're going through my phone. Oh, I wonder if they see my text to my mistress. I've got to get it together. I've got to make them believe me. I don't think this is going to go well. If only I had time to do the things I needed to do. I told Nicole not to call the police. Told her I was on my way home. Wow. Oh my gosh. I gotta do something. Yeah, the interview was the night before his dad came. Oh, what can I say? Let me go over these notes again. Oh, crap. I better remember them better because it's looking like I'm a liar. Let me try to memorize these quickly so I don't have to check back and look at them. I shouldn't really need to. If I was telling the truth, something like this should really be sticking in my mind. That's probably what I did wrong. He probably saw me checking my notes. I'm not going to make that mistake. I'm going to sit here and memorize this now. I'm going to memorize it all. Dang. I've got to think of where she could be. I'm going to get caught. They're not believing this. Even when I told them that my friends would say I'm not the kind of person that does this, my hands, I can still feel what I did with my hands. Like he's looking at his These are the weapons. He's looking at his hands like he can't. I killed my entire family with my own hands. The weapons in my home are on my arms. They don't know it. Nobody will think that I could do this. Do I have anything under my nails? Is there any evidence under my nails? Did I scrub under my nails? Oh my gosh. Should have looked for on Google a little more about emotional conversations. I'm never going to get out of here. Look at time it is. Oh my gosh. I've got to get my phone back. I feel like I'm breaking out in hives. I've got to text Nikki. I don't even know if she'll talk to me. It's getting so late. Why does this guy keep changing chairs, and now he's out of here? This is some kind of tactic. He doesn't believe me. They're probably watching me. Oh my gosh, what's that on my arm? What the heck is that on my arm? What the heck? Yikes. Oh gosh, I hope my arm doesn't start bleeding now. Spider barb? Where? Oh, this is crazy. When is this guy coming back in? They're all watching me. Everybody's watching me. I've got to memorize this. I've got to text Nikki. I've got to get my phone back. This guy doesn't believe me. He thinks I'm lying. He's memorizing that stuff. Gotta think of something better. I've gotta think of a better story. This is no good. Not any good at all. Ridiculous. I'm done. I'm done. I don't think he's worried about his mom, Oliver. It'd be his dad, probably. His coworkers. All before his mom, right? Here he comes. He's got a picture.
We'll have everyone else. I'm just going to keep it here for a little bit longer. So just shuttle people through the other rooms. All right. How you feeling? Look at that picture. Got it. So those shoes, even though they ever went to shoes. They ever went to shoes. Those are fur boots, aren't they? Shannon's gonna sell them off to like that Facebook marketplace. She had them on the windowsill there. And when we got back from North Carolina, she saw them sitting over there. And she proceeded to take them back and wear them every day since they got back. Whether it was 100 degrees outside or what, she loved those shoes. She always loves those shoes. Bella, she always wore some flip-flops. She always will. She's just like, she loved that dress. She loved those flip-flops. She still loves that dress. It's like his buttons in the back.
See the buttons in the back. He talks about it.
Is he short or something? Celeste.
But he can't remember that when they go back to Wisconsin. He can't remember the dress with the buttons.
Celeste. She's Rampage. She's always the one that's got hope. She's always the one that's just like, she's off. She's either go or sleep. She's always home growling. She's always, she's a tiger. Bella, she's the calm, the mothering one. She's the one that's always, you okay? You okay? Fine? She's just the sweetest little girl. She's the one that favors me more, and Celeste is the one that favors Shannon more. And the way I look at it, you see some baby pictures of me, and Bella's just like, oh, she's the other way around.
So when you say favorite, do you look like?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Are they both daddy's girl?
That one is.
Yeah, that's how it works, isn't it?
good. The first one I wasn't really good at it yet. Second one I knew what I was doing, and she bonded with me right from the start.
Yeah.
You just killed his kids.
I remember they wore that dress. She just wore that dress not too long ago.
You just wore that dress not too long ago.
Back of it is
The
like-
buttons in the back. He keeps talking about it.
I love those gray striped dresses. She likes long dresses. She was a girly girl. Always. She's just like, I always like try to put her in a Supergirl t-shirt. She loved it. Every time. She always be smiling though. Bella, you have to like really kind of, like, you want some gum? She said, you want some gum? She was looking at this picture. So she's always just smiling on camera. We're gonna find it, right?
I need your help.
You gotta find him. You gotta find your man. Just the picture somebody sent me. Or it was side by side of Bella and Celeste and Shan. There was a post to like one of the biggest companies.
Okay.
This is the picture she used of the girls.
All right. Were you thinking about anything while I stepped out?
Just how much I want to see these two girls and my wife again. Just I want them to come home.
I mentioned that when children go missing in the FBI, it's a lot like you see in the movies. We like to get every single one of our recent sources. We like to call every agent and wake them up out of bed, call them back from vacation. We just really like to put a full force in. Is that something that you're comfortable supporting?
Yeah.
Okay. That means that I want to have as many eyes, as many hands, as many investigators, as many evidence people as we can possibly get looking at your house.
Okay.
Can we do that right this minute?
Up to.
Okay.
I'll stay out of the way if you want.
Okay. That's usually best. For you, for us, for everyone.
Okay, you want me to stay at my friend's house then?
Is that an option?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's still outside. I'm not sure about it. It's
All right.
fine.
Oh, I forgot that's the way you're going.
Yeah. I'll have to sleep. I have to sleep with her anyways.
Okay.
But, concrete block.
So, what I might do then is in, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, I might just step out for a very quick break and just say, guys, let's go in that house right now.
2385.
You did tell me that, and I did, right? The garage is 2385?
The front door.
The front door, 2385, and is that latch or whatever is not gonna get in our way?
It should be unlatched.
Okay, good. All right.
If it is, just call me.
And when you go in there, I want them to run a black light over everything. I want them to collect DNA. I want them to look for hair strands and DNA samples. I want them to look at your stuff and your wife's stuff and your children's stuff and the garage stuff and the car stuff. All of it.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any problems with that? Okay. So then I want them to do that sooner than later. I might sit out here in a minute and just tell them the code and just let them know, guys, let's find how we can get these girls. Okay. Can we keep talking about some complicated things? Some things that are going to make you uncomfortable?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And I think you know why I have to ask them. Okay. And
Hard job.
it's a hard job. It is a hard job.
Hard
And
job, Chris.
I'm going to ask you one thing, and you're going to give me an answer, and I'm going to ask it just a slight bit different, and you're going to give me an answer, and in about 10 iterations of this, you might get annoyed, but
I do that to make sure that we understand each other. Okay, is that all right? Okay. So we have your daughter's going missing. We have your wife who's missing. Okay, and that's the most important thing right now. Okay. Do you agree with that? Yes. Okay. So you've done very good at talking to me about this really hard conversation you guys had. Okay. Very good. That's sometimes hard. And I understand why sometimes someone in your position says, doesn't want to tell me about that. Because please go help me find my kids, and you don't need to know about my marriage argument, okay? So I gotta say, you've done very good at that. And I need you to keep doing that. So I need to ask you about your marriage and infidelity.
Okay.
Okay, tell me about it.
I've never cheated on my wife.
Okay.
And I fully suspect she's never done that to me.
Oh, okay.
Like, she's always been a trustworthy person. I've always been a trustworthy person. I fully expect if we ever thought about straying another way, that we would tell each other before it happened.
I think that sounds ridiculous. Because in the history of the earth, nobody ever does that.
That's what I would like to think.
Okay.
Yeah, now he's like, I messed up, I said the wrong thing, I messed up, I look like a jerk.
In my head, that's what I would think would happen. I would hope would happen.
Okay.
But
Now, even though I think that sounds ridiculous, if I was in your shoes, I'd do the exact same thing, and I believe that, okay? But I kind of don't. And you can imagine in my job, I meet all kinds of people. And you can imagine that there are people who have Saturdays with their girlfriends and Sundays with their wives, right? And they consider themselves to be very virtuous people, okay? So, with that in mind, I don't care if there's been anything in your relationship. I just don't. And I'm not going to tell the news, and I'm not going to tell anyone, but I do need to know. So, is there anyone that you think that maybe your wife got close with?
it was very secretive then if that was the case, because I had no inkling.
No.
It wasn't even a suspicion.
Okay.
Very secretive, like you would be having an affair right out in the open.
If that was the case, I didn't have no suspicion about it. If it happened, it wasn't even I wasn't aware.
Nothing.
There was no texting with the phone back or I walk in and swipe type thing. I didn't really have any of that.
Like you've been doing?
No perfume when she's going out with the girls.
She always smelled.
See, he's talking about things that he did.
It wasn't like that 1 in a million perfume or something like that.
No late nights that surprised you. Okay. Now let's talk about you. Okay. On your end, I gotta ask, what's her name?
Another one.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. Would you tell me if you did?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, highly trained investigator over here, right? I see pictures of you from a few years ago, and I see you standing before me now. Okay, you've got it pretty fit. Okay. You can imagine when guys start cheating or want to cheat, that's what happens.
Yes.
So tell me about it.
I did not cheat on my wife.
Okay.
Not Thrive helped me. I went from 245 pounds to
You were 245?
245 pounds.
And I'm great, man.
Thank you. And I'm 185, 180 right now. And I've been eating cleaner, just trying to, the last little bit. Thrive has helped me a lot, but to maintain it and try to eat cleaner has really helped me as well.
Okay. And I've got to imagine that maybe there was a girl that started it.
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Why are you falling out of love?
After the last 5 weeks, being by myself and being able to be myself again, I couldn't be myself on the internet anymore.
Why not?
It was like I was walking just walk on eggshells type thing. It's kind of you feel like you're always doing something that's wrong. It's like you feel like you're never does that make sense at all?
The timing doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. But it's like if you can't be yourself around your wife, who can you be yourself around?
Why couldn't you be yourself around your wife?
I just felt like I'd always have to change who I was, because I was always about, I mean, I was doing the laundry, I do everything. Like, I do everything that I could for her, everything. And then, like, the last 5 weeks, I was just, you know, just being myself, just doing me. And
Yeah, having
I
it
just thought to
there.
myself, like, one of my buddies, Mark, he lives out in San Diego, was like, one big test that he learned, like, he was divorced at one point, and he was like, so if you could picture yourself, like, if you could picture your wife, and she was with someone else, would you get jealous? I was like, at this point, I have to say no. And he was like, well, there's your answer. Like, if you love her, it would be a different answer.
When did you start lying?
It wasn't in the last 5 weeks. It's been an ongoing process for probably about a year.
Why?
I just felt like everything that we had when we first started dating and met, like we met in 2010, everything, you know, a new relationship, spark, everything's hot, everything's great. Get married, everything's still great. And then, like, you know, people just fall out of love. And that's where I was. Like, I just felt like over the last year, I thought that, like, okay, maybe this is just like a phase. Maybe this, you know, like, just, you know, this is what happens. Like, you've been with somebody so long. Maybe, like, you know, the spark is there, just reunited somehow, some way. But, you know, our conversations weren't the same. Like, when we were apart, like, everything was just, like, you know, short. And it was just, like, nothing felt right anymore. The disconnection was there, and it just never felt right anymore.
But why?
It wasn't there. Like, I just didn't feel it. Like, it was like I didn't have that passion anymore.
Why not?
I really couldn't, I can't tell you, like, the passion, I didn't feel it in my heart anymore. Like, I really can't, like, just give you a definitive answer other than that. It's like my heart wasn't in it.
I gotta tell you, that sounds like a load of horseshit.
I know.
What about the girl?
I know.
God has blessed the light of my life. I'd do anything for those girls. I'd step in front of a bullet for the train for those girls.
What a liar.
It doesn't add up to you. Why did it spark back?
The rest of the relationship between me and Shanann has nothing to do with the love I have for these girls. I mean, the love of these girls, they're the light of my life. I would do anything for them. But me and Shanann talked about, like, if we separated or if we stayed together, like, what's best for the kids? Like, do we stay together for the kids?
Him and Nicola talked about that.
Look
Nikki.
it up, it doesn't work that way. Like, it might cause more issues for the kids later on down the road.
No,
Like,
Kelly
now
Effie
they
never
don't-
showed a bit of
when
remorse.
They get older, they see, like, oh, mom and dad don't sleep in the same room anymore, like, what's going on, type thing.
This is all from NK. His conversations with NK about her parents divorcing.
If you had to guess, if you had to put your finger on it, if you had to, you know, one or two people that are not married, that have kids that they love, what happens?
I mean, you can't take the kids into the factor because, like, when the love you have for your kids is gonna be, like, exponential. I mean, it'll, no matter what, that will never die. Because those are your kids. That'll never die. Between you and your wife, like, the love that you have for each other, like, from start to finish, like, from right when you started to wherever your relationship ends, like, when you're in that type of relationship, you're with somebody for that long, something happens. Like, something like, if it's just conversations, or if it's just like, you know, I mean, it's not attractiveness at all, like, it's just a connection that isn't there. Like, you know, when you can, like, look at someone, and, or just, like, put your forehead to their forehead, and you just, like, hold it, and you know what each other's thinking, that's a connection.
Put your forehead to their forehead and know what each other's thinking. That's connection. Chris Watts. You touch your foreheads and you know what the other one is thinking. If you have true love, you'll be able to do that. If you can't,
To help you walk out
better
of
give it
that
up.
and not look like the person who's responsible.
You have to trust me. That when I tell you that
You have to
these
trust
two
me.
beautiful girls right here, I did nothing to them, and to my beautiful wife, I did nothing to her. like, you have to trust me and believe me. Like, I know you don't know me as a person. You know me for like 2.5, 3 hours, and I don't know what your opinion is, but you have to realize that these two beautiful girls right here and my wife, I had nothing to do with the disappearance. Like, they vanished, they were taken, someone has taken them, they're safe somewhere, we don't know. I had nothing to do with this act of like evil cruelty, whatever has happened here. Because my love for these two girls and my wife, like, I don't want anything to happen to them.
You just said you have no love for your wife.
No matter if me and my wife separate or not, or divorced or anything, I never wish harm on anybody, but as a human being in general. Like,
You didn't wish it, you did it.
seeing that picture, like, I need them, I want them just to run through that front door and just grab me, or just barrel, just tackle me, knock me to the floor, bust my head up, I don't care. The amount of love I have for my family is exponential, and it's never gonna die.
Exponential.
And I want them back. I have to have it back.
Of course you do, because you know you're screwed now.
Tell me about a normal day in your house.
So like the one when I'm actually home all day.
You know, let's take a day.
Okay, like 7 months ago, let's take a Saturday.
Let's pick a school day.
A school day, okay. So, well, I'm usually at work,
Okay.
but, so usually I'm
On their lives and your lives.
Okay, so school day. So I'll get up about 4 o'clock, I'll go down, work out for maybe about an hour or so.
At your house.
Yeah, it's a weight bench in the basement.
How come you didn't do
So
that on the
get done
day
with that,
that you
come back
said?
upstairs, probably about 5 o'clock.
Didn't talk about the
I'll
workout at all.
eat breakfast, make some eggs, cottage cheese, something like that. Everybody's still sleeping. I'll make the girls milk, I'll make Cece's milk, I'll bring it upstairs. Bella's usually kind of iffy on milk in the morning, so I can fill up the water bottles, put it in the refrigerator. Make sure the backpacks have changed clothes, their hat, and if it's like a swim, like a water day or something, make sure they have water shoes in there, make sure they have sunscreen, make sure that all that in their backpacks.
Change your clothes for what?
In case they have an accident. Like,
Oh, okay, because they're little, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not much Bella, but Celeste.
Sure.
And make sure they have their little blankies whenever they go nap.
Okay.
They have all that with them. I have that all laid out and I go to work. So when the kids dictate when Jeanette wakes up. And usually it's Bella. She'll come in there, lay in the bed with her. And then Celeste, she'll wake up, she'll come in and lay in the bed with her. And they'll watch cartoons for a little while at least. And probably about 6:30 she'll probably get in the bathroom at this point in time while they're watching, because Celeste has her milk at that point in time when she's just chilling in the bed. Jeanette's getting ready, she'll probably take a shower, put makeup on, all that kind of stuff, and then takes the kids over into their rooms, gets them dressed out of pajamas, and Bella had a school uniform. Cece didn't have one yet, so get them dressed, go downstairs, have breakfast.
That would be false.
You probably have cereal, Bella probably like cinnamon toast. Have that, then I might have a little snack on the way to school, maybe some dry cereal or something, put it in the cars, and go to school. And then they'll stay at school usually till about 4 o'clock, 4:30. I'll usually be home by then. I can go pick them up. I go in there, sign them out, get them in the car, drive back. They'll be screaming the whole way because they want mommy. Because that's what they do after a long day of school. And get home. She'll have something for the girls, being whatever they want. It might be pizza, sometimes they want french fries, sometimes they want chicken nuggets, sometimes kibasi, just whatever. Most of them, that buttermilk will love that.
Okay.
So send them at, wash their hands, send them at the table, and they'll eat their dinner.
How do we end like that? Then I must have just did part 2. Let me see. That's interesting. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. So that was that one. Because after this, he ends it with this one, and he tells him that they're going to go to your house tonight, and he's got to go home. He's going to go home with Nick and his wife. Okay, this is 151. Okay, that's this one. Ronnie. Where are we with our other guy? Chris. Yeah, he goes home with Nick and Amanda Thayer. They're actually waiting for him outside. And let me see. Chris. There's here's a little thing. Being that I want you to hear, this was something that was put in the discovery, but it was something that was on Facebook because Chris did this for a project for some course or something he was taking. And it's only 9 minutes. But I if you've never seen it, and then listen to what he says about relationships.
Save up to $200 this week at Tractor Supply. We're helping you get ready for fall with great deals on grills, mowers, safes, tools, and more. Shop everything you need for the season, now through Sunday.
My name is Chris Watts. I'm doing my communication speech for Brenda Armentrout, and welcome to Broomfield, Colorado. About 70 degrees, and it's awesome outside, so welcome. I'm doing my speech on relationship deterioration and repair, and this is my PowerPoint to help you. Deterioration. The relationship begins to fall apart, crumble, or fail. You have weakening bonds. You get bored of the everyday routine, and you get distractions such as work, hobbies, relationships, no matter how harmless, even at the job.
Who's ever recording this is breathing really heavy.
Could strengthen into something else, and could weaken the bond you have with the partner you have. You spend less time with each other, and sometimes you have no time to maintain the relationship. Sometimes in a relationship, you maybe make promises that can turn into a major betrayal, or minor arguments that could turn into things where you can say spiteful comments, which turn into bigger problems. The first phase of deterioration is interpersonal dissatisfaction, which when you become unhappy with all the everyday interactions with you and your partner. You also begin to view your future with your partner as a negative future. And the second phase is interpersonal deterioration, which you start to grow farther and farther apart. You share less of your free time with each other. You have more awkward silences at dinner, or when you're just out by yourself, you don't talk at all. You disclose less of your feelings, and you show less affection toward each other. When you have good communication, you show more nonverbal communication, which is the majority of the messages we send, like through gestures, facial expressions, eye contact, the tone of your voice. And there's many types of forms of communication these days, and it's the most successful groundwork for communicating for relationships. A few quotes that I've done research on from Elaine Schimberg: all relationships problems stem from poor communication skills, which is very true. And another quote from Schimberg and Sorja: you can't communicate while you're checking your BlackBerry, watching TV, or flipping through sports section, which is very true. With technology nowadays, you'll be on your iPhone, your BlackBerry, at a restaurant, and you'll see two people at a table, and you'll see both of them on their phones, either Facebook comment status, or maybe playing a game. There's no communication at all. Commitment is the degree of commitment affects your relationship. According to Hirofumi, not surprisingly, commitment is especially strong when individuals are satisfied with the relationship and grows weaker as individuals become less satisfied. You have to ask yourself 3 questions when you're in a relationship. Do I have a desire to keep this relationship going? Do I have a moral obligation to stay in this relationship? Or is it a necessity for me to stay in this relationship? According to my research, sometimes a necessity could be children. Sometimes when you have children and your relationship starts to deteriorate, a child could help repair it.
A child could help repair a broken relationship. Yeah, that's good advice.
Together in part by forming
Because
either based on desire, obligation, or necessity.
that right there, I mean, what is it that everyone's heard? If your relationship is already in trouble, bringing a child into it is not going to repair it. Okay? Especially having a new baby brings so much stress and well, I mean, will test even good relationships because it's something so new. People are going on less sleep. It's completely going to change your life in every way. And if you're already having issues, it's not, let's see, we could go to counseling or we could have a baby. I think maybe we should have a baby. That would be my good way to maybe repair this relationship. You can't even believe that he says that. It's just bizarre.
And when the commitment is strong enough to hold the relationship together, you avoid arguing about minor disagreements and you support one another. When commitment is weak, the relationship is full of doubt and the relationship deteriorates faster. You have 2 types of deterioration. You have sudden and you have gradual. Sudden would be an example of infidelity. When somebody is not faithful to the partners realize that the relationship cannot be sustained. Gradual would be if you met somebody at work or a new friendship has occurred and as it goes on, you see that, okay, maybe this relationship has more potential than the relationship I have with my partner. And that will gradually push the old relationship out and push the new relationship in.
Oh my gosh.
Reasons relationships start to fall apart. Sometimes you no longer find your partner attractive, physically or in their personality. When you're in a relationship, you have to show desire, lust towards your partner. Sometimes when you get married, that the lust and the desire kind of falls by the wayside a little bit. But if you want
the
your relationship to keep going,
that's
I would
a weird
suggest
term to
maybe
use
go
for
to a place
a relationship.
or go bungee jumping. Go somewhere that will bring the excitement back.
Go bungee jumping.
You no longer experience closeness. Or when your differences become more important than similarities, you just pick apart your partner and you don't see anything that you have in common anymore. You just see something he or she does and it just gets on your nerves and you just can't let that go. And you feel you might do better with someone else that you've met. You think that you can no longer that your partner is someone that you can't be with. when you feel you are putting more into the relationship than you are getting out. According to Bloomstein and Schwartz, when a relationship breaks up, it's generally the more attractive one that leaves, which I agree with somewhat and then I disagree with. In repair,
The more attractive
mistake is
one.
not always pursued. Sometimes people, when the relationship starts to dissolve, repair is not an option and they want to get away and start new. When you want to go into repair, you need to analyze what went wrong and consider what ways of solving the problems. You need to consider changing your behavior or perhaps changing your expectations for your partner. And you might also want to evaluate how you could feel in the relationship if it had ended. One of the first stages of repair, you need to recognize, identify the problem, what changes you need to make the relationship better. Avoid words like always and never. If you say this to your partner, it just makes the relationship makes it backtrack. You'll never get to the repair stage. You need to take responsibility for your feelings, not blame your partner. And you need to be descriptive when discussing grievances. Resolution and conflict resolution. You need to look closely for relational messages that will help clarify motivations and needs. Exchange perspectives and see the situation as your partner does. You need to own your own feelings and thoughts. Use active listening techniques. Listen to your partner. Make sure they feel wanted. Make sure that they know that you're there and not in space somewhere thinking about the baseball game that's coming up or the football game that's coming up.
Like you?
I sometimes do.
Yeah.
Think clearly before saying things you may later forget. Don't just blurt out something. Just think about it. Don't just, if something comes to your mind, then it might be wrong. I do that too. And keep channels of communication open. Always disclose your feelings. Don't keep things bottled up because it will later come back to bite you. Possible solutions. Discuss solutions that both you and your partner win. Don't have a win-lose solution. The win-lose solution, sometimes when somebody loses, you'll have hostility and you'll have resentment. Sometimes they may not show it, but they will be thinking it. And to affirm each other. Support each other, positive evaluations, positive feelings. Always disclose your feelings, as I said. And cherish the gestures. It's a smile, a wink, a kiss, maybe just a hug, anything at all. Solutions into normal behavior. Say you're sorry. Sometimes it takes a lot to admit that just to say you're sorry, but it helps. Risk rejection by making the first move. Be willing to change, to adapt, to take a new task and responsibility. And in conclusion, I can say that relationships are hard, but they're worth it in the end. And as the Swedish proverb says, a double joy is a shared joy, and a double sorrow is not a shared sorrow. Thank you.
I absolutely love teaching. I just wish I had more time to
boy.
prepare fun lessons, especially for science.
That was insightful. Didn't you gain a lot of insight from that? Wow. Crazy. Okay, that was insane. So, I do have the other part of Coder's stuff, but that, I think for tonight, it's just, Coder knows he's full of crap. It's so easy to see it. So, Chris thinks, I don't know, if he thinks at this point that he's fooling them, but his friends had said at the house that Chris said the police are on to me. I think they're on to me. Yeah, they're right. They are on to you. And that's what's up. But I mean, just he's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I think so. But we have to do our word cookies. Our word cookies. Hold on a minute. I was trying to look on my laptop because I am missing something with pictures, but I don't know. I'll worry about that later. I think Jimmy might have taken the thing I had. Hopefully. Let's do our word cookies. And in another True Crime Rewind, we'll finish some more with him. All right, let's see. Let me stop this. Go home. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Okay, so John D'Alessandro told me, asked me if I would tell you about Joan D'Alessandro's new book, and of course I'm going to do that. Let me do that right now. 1 second. She wrote a book. She's an amazing woman. And she's like the Energizer Bunny. Let me get this so we can look at this. Hold on 1 second. All right, let me get this. Hang on. Okay, Jones Joy. Here we go. All right, let me pull this over. Those of you that are not familiar with Joan D'Alessandro or the story of what happened to Joan, Rosemary D'Alessandro. Did I say Joan? I do that all the time, and I tell her that too. Rosemary. Rosemary is the mother, Rosemary D'Alessandro, and that's Joan in the Brownie uniform. Joan was murdered. She was a Brownie Girl Scout who was murdered by her neighbor, who was a science teacher at a high school. And it was in 1973, a time when kids, went around the neighborhood and they lived in a good area. And she was delivering the last 2 boxes of Girl Scout cookies to the neighbor. She never returned. She was brutally murdered by this teacher who lived with his mother and grandmother. And then she was brought to a state park and she was left there. And she was murdered on Holy Thursday, and her body was found on Easter Sunday. And it's a story because I lived a few towns away. So again, if you have not heard about Joan's story, you should. I have several videos. I have a video on it, and then I have interviews with Rosemary. And Rosemary and I became good friends. And like I said, living a few towns away from this and being a Brownie Girl Scout myself, I was younger than Joan. But because of Joan, the Brownie Girl Scouts in our towns were told, it was always like, don't go door to door. Everything changed since her murder, and it was something that I knew about. So when I came here and I was doing true crime, I asked people if they had heard about this, and so many people had never heard of this case. Now, if you've read The Killer Across the Table, the first 8 chapters of that book are about Joan D'Alessandro. John Douglas wrote about it because John Douglas interviewed her murderer. So Rosemary, her mother, was instrumental in getting laws passed, Joan's Law, and helping Paula's Law pass in New York. So she's just an amazing, amazing woman. And so now she has this new book. And like I said, you can have the links that they go around in Nightbot, puts them out there. Remembering Joan's Light, the 30th anniversary of the movement, 1993 to 2023. So it's the 9th annual Child Safety Festival, Saturday, September 30th. They're going to have that, but she wrote this new book now here. Okay. Which is The Message of Light Amid Letters of Darkness. And Thursday, September 7th, she's going to introduce her new book at a launch to be held on Joan's birthday, September 7th. There will be live music, finger sandwiches, and a table of welcoming refreshments will be served. Rosemarie will talk about some highlights from it and take questions. Okay, the full color book is 8.5 by 11 inches. It has 830 pages with 43 color photos. It also includes copies of 332 letters written by Joan's killer to a pen pal over a 34-year period. She summarizes and comments on each letter and parallels what is going on in her life to most of the letters. There is an index of 65 significant letters before the prologue to guide the reader to sections of the book that cover areas such as Rosemarie's thoughts on grief and what it was like for her to face the killer. The story is part true crime because it reveals the mind of Joan's killer and what evil is really about. It is also a memoir because Rosemarie describes her experiences after Joan's death and her journey to become an advocate, successfully changing laws and helping children and victims. Okay, so purchasing the book will be available to buy at a discounted price of $48.95 for the softcover version. It retails on Amazon for $78.95. The hardcover should be available to buy that night at the discounted price of $57.95. All proceeds from the sale of the book will benefit the Joan Angela D'Alessandro Foundation, aka Joan's Joy. Included with each book will be a special bookmark with a note signed by Rosemarie. If time permits, she will also sign books at the event. If not, purchasers can leave their book with her and she will sign it on a later date and arrange for pickup or drop off. If you can't make it, you can reserve your copy here, and I'll drop this link. Over here. So it does benefit the foundation as well, and their foundation does a lot of work with children and the safety of children. So you can check out more at jonesjoy.org, but I'm going to put the link for this in our live chat here. Hold on here. Hold on, Sally. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So check it out if you're in the area near Hillsdale, New Jersey. Check that out. They're also having the Child Safety Festival on September 30th. If you're in the area there, check that out. Go check out their website, Joan's Legacy. There's a lot on here. And sign their guest book. And you can look at pictures of Joan. And there's Joan and Rosemarie. But, check it out. Okay. Now let's see here. Okay. Let's go to the event. I'll put something in a community post too. All right, so this is it. Okay, let me. Shoot. I need lying. Yep. Okay. Okay. Shoot. Oh my gosh, I hate when my thing gets stuck like that. Ugh. It's like got a mind of its own. And one more would be LEI. Leg. Oh my gosh, leg. Stop. I did it all by myself, Mom, and I helped. Drives me crazy. You try to do nil and it's like all over the freaking place. Okay. Oh, I did log. I didn't even see that. Lou. I did lie. Gooey. No, there's not enough words. Maybe ogle. That's a good one. Ego, yeah. Okay, logo, yeah, that's gotta be one. See how it goes? See? Oh my gosh, drives me crazy. Good night, White Angel. There's only, yeah, oh, there's two, okay. One more. Ugh. Leg again. Hey, Adventures with Beth, how are you? Okay. Thank you, Mirror of Crows. Okay. I'll see if I can advance to the next level. Shoot, see? Oh my gosh. Has a mind of its freaking own. Tide, somebody said. Who said that Murder of Crows Tide? Yeah, Tide is good. Edit, I did all those. Oh, deceit. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, text isn't there, Judy. Shoot. I think I tried cited. I did. Oh my gosh, I thought I did that. Thank you. Uh-oh. Lost my live chat. Where are you? Where are you, live chat? Where are you? There you are. Over her waves? What? Oh, over here, I see, Beth. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you see what I mean? Oh my gosh. Stop. Oh my gosh. Sibling? Yes. Sibling, yes. I tried goon. Not Nick, I tried that. Nope. I tried oink. Nope. Oh yeah, it is icon. See, I did it once and it didn't work, and then it did. Something so weird. Ugh. All right, well, I think I'm going to have to say goodnight. I thought I was going to be able to make it, but I am exhausted. I'm going to start a new Zoom. Let me do that. And then I'm going to go. But thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a nice day tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys later. Just exhausted. Thanks for watching. God bless. Prayers for all that need them. And we will see you tomorrow. All right. Shoot. Do. Okay. Good night. Thank you, everybody.